Tamilore was full of life, driven by compassion, and dedicated to her future career in healthcare. Through her story, we aim not only to honor her memory but to spark meaningful conversations around safety, wellness, and the hidden struggles young people may face, even in the most promising moments of their lives. She almost became the true light she was born to be, a certified America-registered nurse after rigorous sleepless nights and countless shifts of reading and practical duties. Tamilore Odunsi, known affectionately as Tammy by friends and family, was a 23-year-old woman from the United Kingdom with big dreams and an even bigger heart. She had told herself if others can do it, then she too can achieve the nursing career milestone. More profoundly, Tamilore Odunsi, also affectionately known as Tammy Dollars on TikTok. She was just a 23-year-old British nursing student who moved from London to Houston, Texas, to pursue her dream of becoming a nurse. Her journey was marked by determination, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to making a difference in the lives of others. Through her engaging social media presence, she shared her experiences, challenges, and triumphs, inspiring thousands of followers. She had traveled all the way from London to Houston, Texas, to pursue a degree in nursing, a journey that symbolized not only ambition but courage. Tamilore was in her final semester at Prairie View A&M University, one of the oldest and most respected historically black colleges in the U.S. The desire was born out of a mind of dedication and determination. She had discovered herself at an early age with full determination to become a certified nurse at a renowned university of her choice. Her passion for helping others wasn't just something she studied, it was something she lived. She had discovered that at an early stage of her life. Friends recall how she was the type of person to offer a shoulder, a smile, or words of encouragement to anyone who needed them. Just days before her anticipated graduation from one of Texas universities, Tamilore's life was tragically cut short. On April 26, 2025, she was found dead in her Houston apartment, the victim of a brutal stabbing. The news sent shockwaves through her community, both online and offline, leaving many grappling with the senseless loss of a young woman who had so much to offer. Many of her friends also recalled how she would call and visit them whenever she didn't see them. "She's the type of friend that will look for you even if you don't want to see anyone just to make sure you're fine," a friend stated. But Tamilore wasn't just a student, she was also an influencer in the most positive sense of the word. On TikTok, where she gained over 30,000 followers, she documented her life as a nursing student. Her content ranged from humorous skits about study life to helpful tips for other international students navigating school in a foreign country. Many of her videos were joyful and relatable, showing her excitement as graduation neared. In one clip, she proudly showed off her cap and gown, counting down the days until she'd earn her nursing degree. Tamilore represented hope, hard work, and the promise of a brighter future. She had already overcome so much to get where she was. But sadly, her dreams were cut short in the most unimaginable way. Tamilore's story is not just one of personal tragedy but also a reflection of broader issues affecting young women, international students, and the importance of safety and vigilance in shared living situations. Her untimely death underscores the need for awareness and proactive measures to protect vulnerable individuals. This video aims to honor Tamilore's memory by shedding light on the circumstances surrounding her death, the systemic failures that may have contributed to it, and the lessons we can all learn to prevent similar tragedies in the future. Before you continue, take a moment to support LAT True Crime Stories by hitting the subscribe button. Like and share this video with someone to spread the awareness. On April 26, 2025, just days before what should have been the proudest moment of her life, Tamilore Odunsi was found brutally stabbed to death inside her apartment in Houston, Texas. On the afternoon of April 26, 2025, Houston police conducted a welfare check at Tamilore's apartment after concerns were raised by a family friend who hadn't heard from her. Upon arrival, officers noticed blood on the rear patio and, upon entering the residence, discovered Tamilore's lifeless body in the kitchen, bearing multiple stab wounds. In a bedroom, they found her roommate, Chester Lamar Grant, with self-inflicted stab wounds, including one to the neck. He was immediately transported to a hospital in critical condition. Investigations revealed that Tamilore and Grant had been living together for approximately 2 months. Grant, a 40-year-old man with a history of domestic violence convictions in Washington state, had a volatile past that raised questions about the vetting process for tenants and the safety protocols in place for shared housing. Reports suggest that a dispute over their cats escalated into a violent altercation, culminating in the fatal stabbing. The exact details of the argument remain unclear, but the incident highlights how seemingly minor disagreements can spiral into deadly confrontations, especially when underlying issues are present. Tamilore's murder was not random. Investigators quickly zeroed in on a suspect, 40-year-old Chester Grant. He wasn't just anyone. Chester Grant was someone Tamilore knew intimately. According to authorities, they were in a relationship. A relationship that was initially presumed to be the lasting one suddenly became affection of horror, claiming a beautiful young life. But what went wrong in this relationship that could have led to such unimaginable violence? Surveillance footage from the apartment complex allegedly captured Chester Grant entering and leaving the scene shortly before and after the time of the murder. Police say he fled the state and was eventually arrested in Shreveport, Louisiana. Chester Grant has since been charged with murder and remains in custody. As the legal process unfolds, many questions remain unanswered. What triggered the attack? Were there signs of abuse or danger that went unnoticed? Tamilore's family is now demanding justice. Her sister, close friends, and even her TikTok followers have taken to social media to grieve and to call for change. The crime has ignited conversations about domestic violence, especially in relationships involving young women and international students, who may lack immediate support systems in a foreign country. Tamilore's death sparked an outpouring of grief and anger across social media platforms. Her TikTok followers, numbering over 30,000, shared heartfelt tributes, expressing their sorrow and disbelief. Many recounted how her videos had inspired them, offering a glimpse into the life of a dedicated nursing student navigating challenges with grace and humor. Her family, devastated by the loss, initiated a GoFundMe campaign to repatriate her body to the UK and cover funeral expenses. The fundraiser quickly surpassed its goal, reflecting the widespread impact Tamilore had on those who knew her personally and virtually. Her sister, Georgina, described her as a beautiful soul, full of light, ambition, and kindness.
Now to shocking new details in the stabbing death of a British nursing student on Houston's South Side. Elizabeth Odunsi was killed just over a week ago.
And now that student's roommate, 40-year-old Chester Grant, is charged in her murder. He's being held on a $500,000 bond at the Harris County Jail.
Orko Manna joins us live from there. Orko, you've been covering this case for days, and you're now learning just how violent the stabbing was.
Yeah, Mia, we've learned that Grant is accused of stabbing Odunsi more than 24 times inside their apartment over an argument about his cat. Now, Odunsi's family is hoping to move her body back to the UK.
I'm about to graduate, and I really wish I had this during nursing school because it definitely would have helped.
23-year-old Elizabeth Odunsi often posted videos like this on her popular TikTok page, detailing her time in nursing school after moving to the US from the UK. This video of her dancing, mentioning being 2 weeks out from graduation, is the last post she made. It was uploaded just 5 days before Odunsi's life was cut short. Houston police say Odunsi was stabbed to death on April 26 inside her apartment on Goforth Street by her roommate, 40-year-old Chester Grant. Homicide detectives tell me the killing stemmed from an argument about his cat from days earlier.
Mr. Grant,
now charged with murdering Odunsi, appearing in probable cause court this weekend.
The allegations in this case allege he stabbed his female roommate 28 times, killing her over some disagreement over his cat. So this is an allegedly extremely brutal murder with an extensive history of violence, which I find to be an extreme danger to the community.
A bandage seen on Grant's neck. Police tell me Grant tried taking his own life after killing Odunsi, stabbing himself at least 6 times, including in the neck. The judge also saying Grant has had multiple arrests and convictions for violence from out of state. Odunsi's loved ones creating this GoFundMe page saying, quote, she moved from the UK to the United States to pursue her dream of becoming a nurse, dedicating herself to a life of care and service, and that their, quote, goal is to bring Tammy home from the United States to the UK so she can be laid to rest surrounded by her family and loved ones.
Yeah, just heartbreaking for that family. Grant was scheduled to be in court today, but he did not appear because he's still waiting for a court-appointed attorney. Reporting live from the Harris County Jail this afternoon, Orko Manna, KHOU 11 News.
The incident also ignited conversations about the safety of international students and the need for better support systems. Advocates called for universities and housing providers to implement more rigorous background checks and provide resources to help students navigate roommate arrangements safely. Tamilore's father publicly criticized the police and the landlord for potential negligence, highlighting that authorities had been called to the apartment multiple times prior to the incident. He expressed his intent to pursue legal action if it was found that failures in the system contributed to his daughter's death. News of Tamilore Odunsi's tragic death quickly spread across social media, sparking outrage, heartbreak, and an overwhelming call for justice. Tamilore, known affectionately as Tammy by friends and followers, was a beloved presence both in person and online. Her death wasn't just a private loss, it became a public tragedy. On TikTok, where Tamilore had built a growing platform sharing her journey as a Nigerian nursing student in the US, users were shocked. Her most recent videos were filled with congratulations and well wishes ahead of her graduation. Those same videos quickly turned into memorials. Friends and classmates from Chamberlain University in Houston remembered her as determined, cheerful, and kind-hearted. Her professors described her as an exemplary student who had overcome immense challenges to succeed in a foreign land. Her death, they said, robbed the world of a future healthcare hero. The Nigerian community, both in Texas and globally, rallied together. Hashtags like #JusticeForTamilore began trending on social platforms, demanding that authorities take swift and transparent action. Vigils were held in her memory, candles lit for the young woman whose light was extinguished too soon. Advocacy groups against domestic violence also joined the conversation. They pointed to Tamilore's death as a grim reminder of how intimate partner violence can escalate quickly and fatally when left unaddressed. Many began urging universities and immigration agencies to provide more mental health and protective services for international students. In the aftermath of Tamilore's death, social media erupted with the #JusticeForTamilore. Thousands used it not only to demand legal accountability but to bring visibility to countless victims whose stories are never told. It became more than a cry for justice. It became a rallying call for reform.
We begin tonight with new details in the tragic stabbing death of a Houston nursing student. Police say the 23-year-old British woman was killed by her roommate last weekend. It happened inside an apartment on Gopher Street. That's near Cullen and Yellowstone Boulevard on Houston's south side. Our Orko Manna joins us from the Harris County Jail tonight with the latest from investigators. Orko?
It's been 1 week since this deadly stabbing, and while Houston police are still investigating, homicide detectives tell me that this all stemmed from an argument between the suspect and the victim about their cats. I'm also told the British nursing student would have graduated this weekend.
It's a quiet Saturday at this apartment on Goforth Street on Houston's south side, but just a week earlier on the afternoon of April 26th, Houston police say it was a bloody murder scene. HPD finding a 23-year-old woman in one of the units lying on the kitchen floor with multiple stab wounds. Homicide detectives identifying her as Elizabeth Tamilore Odunsi. Police say she was from England but was in nursing school here in Houston, set to graduate this weekend. Detectives telling me Odunsi's roommate, 40-year-old Chester Grant, stabbed her to death after the two got into an argument a few days earlier about the cats that they both kept in the unit. The conflict reportedly snowballed and led to the violent encounter. I'm told the two were relatively new roommates for about 2 months. Detectives say Grant tried to take his own life, stabbing himself around 6 times, including in the side of the neck. After a few days in the hospital, Grant appeared in probable cause court Saturday morning, now charged with murder.
Grant is being held here at the jail on a $500,000 bond. He's expected to be back in court on Monday. Meanwhile, Houston police are still looking for surveillance video and doing witness interviews as they continue their investigation. Reporting from downtown Houston, Orko Manna, KHOU 11 News.
As Tamilore's story touched hearts worldwide, the demand was clear. This must not be another forgotten tragedy. Justice for Tamilore means more than a prison sentence. It means raising awareness, supporting vulnerable women, and making sure no other young woman suffers in silence. As the shock from Tamilore Odunsi's death settles into grief, the natural question becomes, what can be learned from this tragedy? How do we ensure something like this never happens again, especially to other young women chasing their dreams far from home? One major lesson lies in recognizing the early signs of abusive or controlling behavior. While full details of Tamilore's relationship with her alleged killer, Grant, have not been publicly disclosed, those close to her have hinted at possible red flags. It reminds us that emotional manipulation, isolation, and threats, though often subtle, can be precursors to physical violence. Tamilore's tragic death underscores the importance of thorough background checks when entering shared living arrangements. Landlords and property managers have a responsibility to vet tenants adequately, ensuring that individuals with violent histories are not placed in situations where they could pose a threat to others. For students, especially those studying abroad, it's crucial to have access to resources that can help them make informed decisions about housing. Universities should provide guidance on safe housing practices, offer support services, and create channels for students to report concerns about their living situations. Community awareness plays a vital role in prevention. Neighbors and friends should feel empowered to report suspicious behavior or escalating conflicts. Early intervention can prevent situations from deteriorating into violence. Mental health support is another critical component. Providing accessible counseling services can help individuals manage stress and interpersonal conflicts more effectively, reducing the likelihood of violent outcomes. This tragedy also sheds light on the unique challenges faced by international students. Away from family, friends, and familiar support systems, many suffer in silence. Institutions must provide better access to culturally sensitive counseling, hotlines, and reporting systems tailored to international students. Awareness campaigns on dating violence and safety should be integrated into student orientation and housing programs. Communities, both local and online, must foster environments where survivors feel safe speaking up. Too often, victims are shamed, doubted, or ignored. Tamilore's story must remind us all to believe and support those who reach out for help. Lastly, law enforcement and judicial systems must act swiftly and transparently. The public's confidence hinges on the assurance that justice will not be delayed, and that future crimes will be deterred by a firm stance against gender-based violence. Following the incident, Grant was charged with murder and is currently being held on a $500,000 bond. The case has prompted widespread discussions about tenant screening processes, the responsibilities of landlords, and the importance of addressing red flags in roommate relationships. Tamilore Odunsi's life was full of promise. Her story is not just about what was lost, but about what we must now fight to protect: our sisters, our daughters, our friends. May her memory not only be honored but used as fuel to build a safer, more just world. Tamilore Odunsi's tragic story is one that pierced hearts across continents. A 23-year-old Nigerian woman, full of intelligence, determination, and hope, was senselessly taken just days before one of the proudest milestones of her life, college graduation. Her death serves as a solemn reminder that violence can find its way even into our brightest chapters. Her dreams, to care for others, to uplift her community, and to represent her family with pride, were not in vain. Though her life was cut short, her story is sparking meaningful conversations around relationship safety, emotional well-being, and institutional responsibility. According to the CDC, 1 in 4 women in the United States has experienced severe physical violence by an intimate partner in her lifetime. Tamilore's story is not isolated. It's a reflection of a broader crisis affecting women across the globe. If you or someone you know is in an abusive relationship, help is available. Organizations like the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-SAFE, and Women's Aid offer confidential support, counseling, and safety planning. No one has to go through this alone. Dr. Nadine Caslow, a clinical psychologist and expert in domestic violence, explains that emotional manipulation, isolation from loved ones, and controlling behaviors are key red flags in abusive relationships, many of which Tamilore reportedly faced. Recognizing these signs early can be the first step toward intervention. Tamilore Odunsi's story is a heartbreaking reminder of the vulnerabilities that can exist in shared living situations, especially for young, international students. Her aspirations, kindness, and vibrant spirit left an indelible mark on those who knew her. As we reflect on her life and untimely death, it's imperative to advocate for systemic changes that prioritize safety, support, and accountability. By addressing the gaps that allowed this tragedy to occur, we can work towards preventing similar incidents in the future. As we close this video, we ask you to do more than just watch. Reflect, share, and take action. Speak up when you see signs of abuse. Listen when someone confides in you. Support organizations working to end domestic violence and advocate for victims. And if you or someone you know is in danger, don't wait. Reach out. Your voice could save a life. To Tamilore's family and friends, we grieve with you. We honor her light, and we promise to never let it fade into silence. If you or someone you know is in an abusive relationship, help is available. Organizations like the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-SAFE, and Women's Aid offer confidential support, counseling, and safety planning. No one has to go through this alone. Before you go, ask yourself, what would I do if a friend confided in me about abuse? Would I know how to help? Let Tamilore's story move you not only emotionally but also into awareness and preparedness. Let her legacy inspire action. We encourage viewers to stay informed, support organizations dedicated to student safety and domestic violence prevention, and to foster communities where individuals feel safe and supported. Thank you for taking the time to learn about Tamilore's story. May her memory inspire positive change and a commitment to protecting the well-being of all students. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing for more in-depth coverage of important human stories. Let's keep these conversations alive, because awareness can lead to prevention, and prevention can save lives.